We're wasting precious time. Come on to the theater.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Boyos Discuss, the podcast where we pick a topic and then shoot the shit about it for a while. This week, we're concluding Boyos Summer Musicals with a real doozy, 2019's Cats. I'm Matthew, and I'm joined by my co-hosts Ben and other Ben. How's it going?
I had to watch this movie, so, we're here.
Yeah.
So, a bit of background for this movie before we get into this. It's an adaptation of Andrew Lloyd Webber's hit with question marks.
It made $4 billion.
Did it fucking really?
Like, not in 1 year, but like over its lifespan.
$4 billion.
I've never understood the appeal for this.
It's because you're a hack who doesn't understand the theater of show.
I'll accept that. But yeah, it's an adaptation of a 1981 musical of the same name, which is loosely based off of T.S. Eliot's collection of poems called Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats.
Yeah.
So they originally planned on having like an animated adaptation of the movie in the 90s. It was going to be done by Amblimation, who you may know from Fievel Goes West, which is the sequel to An American Tail.
And Jimmy Stewart's last film role as Wyatt Burp.
Wow.
They also did We're Back, which is that dinosaur movie. It's not very
that
good.
Movie. Fuck that.
And they did Balto. I like Balto.
Anytime a movie has an exclamation point in its title, you know it's just going to be a fucking pile of shit.
Like Cats?
Yes. Exactly like Cats.
So they originally were going to do an animated version. I think that would have been sort of neat. I think that would have lent itself well. Sort of similar to like, have y'all seen Cats Don't Dance? It's an animated movie. It's similar, like musical thing. It's.
I just think about the really racist song they sing in the Aristocats, where the Chinese cat is playing the piano with chopsticks.
Yeah,
I feel like that'd be the direction they take. So it's probably for the best.
But they abandoned the animated adaptation when Amblimation basically closed down. So the version
what about Amblimation. National Association of Man-Boy Love Animation.
Jesus Christ.
They're not going to sponsor us.
If I keep saying
think we
it,
would
they
want
might.
them sponsoring us. But
I'm just going to say it until you remember what that is.
So the version we're talking about today, it's not that one, obviously. It's not the stage version. We're talking about the version directed by Tom Hooper, who you may know as the director of The King's Speech, which is a very good movie.
Yeah. And
2012's Les Mis, which is it's a fine...
Definitely fucking better than Cats.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But apparently, this is sort of something that, like, if you take a look on, like, Wikipedia, there were also a lot of articles written up after this movie came out. Apparently, Tom Hooper was, like, a massive asshole to the VFX team. We'll sort of get into that later once we've talked about the synopsis of this. There's sort of a lot to unpack with the drama sort of leading up to the movie's release. So we'll sort of put that to the side.
I think it's still bizarre that they're like, King's Speech, yes, that's an incredible movie, but such a different, like, I can't even associate that at all with being like, we need a director for a musical. Oh, didn't this guy do that really serious, like, was it Colin Firth?
Yeah, like, he did a drama.
So the connective tissue, it was explained to me, was King's Speech, serious period drama.
Right.
Les Mis, serious political drama, but with music, whatever, close enough.
So and then the music...
And then the string was Anne Hathaway's song, super dramatic single woman ballad, and then Memories, super dramatic single woman ballad. And I was like, that's probably close enough. What do you mean there's another hour, 40 minutes of these movies?
Well, when you explain it like a dumbass executive, it starts making sense.
Shit, what if I make a ton of money is what you're saying.
See, no, he'd be perfect because he did this, which did that, which is did that.
He's got Oscars. He's got money. What else do I need to say?
Isn't your cousin his agent?
So the movie had a budget of about $80 to $100 million, and it ended up only making $75.7 million at the box office, which...
That's a big flop, but honestly, not as bad as I thought.
Yeah, holy shit.
Like, I thought this... Just spitballing, and I don't know that much about like how movie budgets are put together. I thought it was going to cost like $200 million and make 50. from like how much people rag on it, but
I was very upset that I had to spend $4 on YouTube to watch this. So I feel like if I went to go see this in theaters, I legitimately would probably walk out after I see Jenny Anydots eat a humanoid cockroach and demand my money back. Because I'd be like, this is not... I don't know how this made it this far.
So before we jump into the synopsis, do y'all have any history with this movie or the musical itself?
I remember knowing it was just one of those like big musicals that's part of, cultural osmosis. And I remember when I saw the first trailer, it had no animation. It was just like, look at all these celebrities. Like, I like those celebrities. Look at all this dancing with the choreographer from Hamilton. I was like, I like the choreography from Hamilton. And it was like, cats. I have heard of this. And I got really excited. And then I saw, the animation. I was like, oh no.
My mom really fucking loved Cats, like the musical on Broadway.
Yeah.
I don't know if she'd seen it on Broadway. Like she did live in New York for a minute, but she was super into the musical. So we had like the Broadway play on VHS.
Yeah.
And I remember watching that. And then like, I think she took me to go see it in person, like at a local theater or something. But like this musical is so not memorable. Like, the song, like there's like 2 songs I remember and stuff, but there's no plot really. So you remember memories and you remember like Jellicle Cats, and that's what I remember from this musical. I feel like that's what anybody remembers. Like if you talk about cats, I think that's about it, because there's not anything else to talk about with this fucking thing.
You don't remember? Like I just saw some clips from like the film stage version. It is a very horny stage play.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know if you've hung out with any cats, but there's some horny motherfuckers. So I think that translated. But no, I mean, like on I didn't have an issue with this when it was like a play.
Yeah,
it was fine. Like people wore body cat suits. Granted, I was a little kid, so I don't know. I guess I thought that was normal, but it didn't just look like a fucking computer miscarried.
So for me, I've seen that like direct to video like stage adaptation too. So that sort of is my history. Like you were sort of saying, there's only like 2 or 3 songs in this that I would say are like memorable.
Yeah.
And then like
they're very memorable.
Yeah.
Like they are. I can see that part written by Andrew Lloyd Webber. Like it's as memorable as some Phantom music, like that Memories song. I've heard that in like every fucking coffee shop, along with, My Heart Will Go On and whatever. But
yeah, I mean, it's sort of what you were going on as well. Like the characters, they're introduced in such a like like rapid fire way where it's like every other scene, there's like 4 new characters, and I'm like, I don't care about any of them.
No.
Because you're just going so fast. But we'll talk about that more as we get into the synopsis. So typically, I've sort of made notes along with the synopsis, sort of saying, oh, this is where this song happens, that sort of thing. But there are so many songs in this, and so many of them are not memorable, that I was just like, I really don't.
And it doesn't even complicate the plot if we like say one was introduced way before another or something. It's like, because there's not a plot really.
Yeah, well, and it's like, it's tough with these sorts of these sorts of musicals where everything is sung, where it's like a song could be a few sentences and that would be its own track on a CD, for example. Like you can't really, I don't know, piece things together or like categorize things where they happen.
This was not helped by, I'm sorry if this podcast is your moral like keystone and it's what you build your life on. I was 5 beers deep when I turned this movie on, and then I continued nursing cocktails. So I thought that
I did not want to watch this movie sober, so I was not.
He was a different kind of intoxicated. If you know what that means, then you know. But I was the sole sober-ish person. I had like 3 beers, I think.
I ordered my pizza with extra mushrooms.
But yeah, so like going into this, like when I was editing things, it sort of jogged my memories ish, but like there's a lot of songs that I'm just like, I don't know. So I left them out. With that,
That's fun.
I am going to kick things over to Etherben for the synopsis.
So the synopsis of the plot, such as it is, so the movie opens. It's in early 1900s London, and a cat named Victoria is dropped off. She's like in a pillowcase and tossed out. And I think in the original stage play, she just does like one ballet dance, but she's our point of view character because we can't talk to the audience. This is a realistic movie. That was the approach of the director. You can question if that was a good or bad decision. It's bad.
Off the bat, fucking hilarious. Just yeet a humanoid cat into the garbage through a bag, like
It's such a
aggressively.
weird opening.
It is,
Too. Like I watched that and I was like, oh, this is how we're starting it.
And
like,
it's the only time you ever see another like a human being.
yeah,
Because it's like a full
it's some
size
like
human.
Tom and Jerry energy.
Yeah,
where, like you
definitely.
see the housekeeper every now and then. That's
It is Tom and Jerry.
But she gets out, and she's her point of view character, and she is met by Mr. Mistopheles and probably other cats. And they open up with a summary to explain what cats are, more specifically, what a Jellicle Cat is.
Get
Dude,
used
I
to
think
that
we
word.
all-
They say it every fucking other
I
line.
think we all like looked it up, and it's just nothing. It's just like, what's a Jellicle Cat? And it's like, oh, you're talking about the Cats musical. It's like, no, what is Jellicle? It's a made up fucking word.
Yeah.
But they're saying that they have to be Jellicle Cats to win the Jellicle Ball so that they can win in a very Jellicle manner. And from what I could piece together, it's a competition for the right to die and reincarnate. I thought not as a cat. Ben
I
said,
thought as a cat. Because cats are like the most noble and luxurious, because that's how they talk about themselves. So, I don't know. It's like a chance for the cat to start a new life. I figured it's like a play on their like 9 lives or something.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's a weird.
I don't know. This was this is the song I remember from the musical besides Memories, though. The Jellicle song.
Yeah.
The Jellicle things
Cats
and Jellicle bits.
stuff,
Jellicle, and then we Jellicle more. And it's just...
But that's acting as there's 2 through lines of the plot. We'll get to the other one later. That they're trying to do connective tissue is that they're all competing to win the Jellicle Ball. And then Ginny Any Dots is introduced. She's played by Rebel Wilson. And she's a lazy tabby who lives in a house. And she welcomes these poor street schmucks in. And it's funny because look at her, she's fat and she's licking her crotch.
I fucking hate Rebel Wilson because she always... there's one movie I saw her in and I was like, that was actually kind of good. She was still obnoxious, but it fit the character, and that was in like Jojo Rabbit. Like, she was passable there. She fit there. But like Rebel Wilson and everything else is just like, I'm so fat and funny. It's like Melissa McCarthy.
I was gonna say
just-
it's like Kevin James sort of energy.
Yeah, but like gross in a Amy Schumer kind of way. It's just like
I'm fat and sexual, and then the audience laughs until they cry.
Yeah.
And she has like a finishing school for mice and roaches, I think. She unzips her skin to show a velvet vest underneath.
She has
really
like skin
uncomfortable.
under her skin and then a costume.
It's
yeah.
disgusting.
Some real Buffalo Bill nonsense
Yeah.
going on.
But like when that happened, like I feel like I watched a video. I don't know if it wasn't Donkey, or maybe Donkey did do a video about cats, but somebody did a video about cats where they showed like basically like a bunch of the weirdest CG things.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things,
Yeah.
like her getting out of the skin suit. So I knew it was coming, but then it happened and I was like, oh.
It's just really uncomfortable.
Like when it happens, it's like it's a surreal thing that you're like, I'm just sitting here and this is occurring and I have no choice in the matter. But
yeah, because it's like it's not like an overcoat or anything. Like it's like a guy sitting shirtless and then he unzips his skin randomly and there's a shirt underneath it. It's not natural.
But also, if you've seen any videos about cats, you've seen this scene. It's where there's mice that have like MS Paint human child faces on them. And then there's cockroaches doing like a kick line, and then what is it, Ginny Any
With human
Dots
faces, yes.
just picks one up and eats it, and no one freaks out about this. They're just like, Well, that's a warm
And it
place.
I mean,
like-
cats eat bugs. Like that's
No,
that's a
but
thing.
I don't mind the cats not freaking out. The other roaches just
They keep dancing and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
It's fucking disgusting. Do you think that the Broadway play had
No.
people marching around in fucking cockroach costumes, dude?
No.
That's gross. I don't know who needed to tell Todd Howard, what's his fucking name? Todd
No,
something.
That's fault.
It
Todd
Yeah, I know.
just
Cooper.
Todd Cooper. I don't know who needed to tell Todd Cooper that people don't want to fucking watch cockroaches march across their screen. Like what? It's gross on its own. It's worse with human faces. It's multiplied that she eats a fucking cockroach, and it's like on top of all that, it just looks bad.
Do you
It
want
just
to?
looks like bad anime. Like
This reminded me of in the new Doctor Strange movie at the end. They have his like third
his eye
eye.
opens and shit.
Imagine that, but that's the entire movie.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, it's so bad.
Yeah, but where's your Oscar for Best Director?
It's at home with my Grammy and my Emmy. You live with me, Ben. How have you not seen
Almost
my
to that
shelves?
EGOT.
Come on.
So then some other cats are introduced, which honestly, if we were pressed for time, is the summary of this movie.
I won my Oscar for Crash. Thank you very much.
There's a rabble-rouser named Rum Tum Tiger, played by Jason Derulo.
Rum Tum Tugger.
Oh, excuse me. Rum Tum Tugger. He is played by Jason
Jason
Derulo.
Derulo.
He doesn't say that, though. I mean, usually I'd say it would be a bad play because it would ruin, like, the tone of the movie, but anything goes in this.
His song actually wasn't the worst.
Yeah, I
It
like
was
his
alright.
song. Yeah.
It was just, offset by the horribleness around him. But
He had good lines, and then Rebel Wilson was like, but I have a joke. And they're like, oh, yeah, that's right. We really should pause this song so you can do your improv.
right, Rum Tum's whole song was like, I don't like anything, and if I like it for 1 second, then I won't the next. And it's for all the middle-aged women with 7 cats to be like, I have a Rum Tum Tugger at home.
That's this entire movie.
Yeah, I know, but especially that. Like, oh, my cat, when you go to scratch his belly, he sometimes bites you or something. Oh, that's my cat.
Well, that's
It's
us.
just-
We're like, sometimes I go to Pet Merlin and he frames us for credit card fraud.
Yeah.
But
Holds a box cutter during that at night.
tells us to sign over financial documents.
That's typical. That's a McCavity.
But there's Gus, the theater cat, played by Sir Ian McKellen. There's
Yeah.
Buster Jones, played by
Buster Rhymes.
no, not Knight, James Gordon, who is fat.
James Corden.
Gordon? Oh, I can't read. I'm sorry.
James Gordon is the police chief of Gotham City, Ben. James Corden is a fat piece of shit who's not funny. Fucking Well, and also, so I needed to say that Rum Tum Tugger is at a milk bar, and it's like the proportions are weird because it's like the cats kind of fit there, like they're
Yeah.
spinning on bar stools and they're like drinking and shit, and it's like they're kind of proportionate to the bar, but the bar is like you keep seeing it throughout the musical because it's only in like one street,
Yeah.
and it's like the size of all the other buildings. So the proportions in this movie will continuously just do whatever they want.
It's this weird thing
It's
where
called fantasy. Look it up.
the characters, like, they are like if you just shrunk down a human but didn't like resize things to like more cat-like.
Yeah,
Like they're, I don't know, like human arms are not like, I don't know, the same sort of length as like a cat. So when you're just shrinking down and placing them in a CG environment, it's like, yeah, that doesn't look right.
No,
Like,
it does not.
It's not.
The whole thing just is like an uncanny valley feeling.
Yeah.
It's fucking gross.
But Buster Jones, played by James Corden, he's fat and he eats garbage because he's so fat.
And it's another thing where it's like, it's so gross. Like, I've seen garbage in animated movies or whatever, and it's like, all right, haha, like a big fake bone.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, cool. But this shit is like as detailed as the rest of the world. Like, it's literally garbage and it's like rotting.
yeah, it's not like
it's gross.
But he's fat, so laugh monkey.
I know, and he
It's
just
not
like is
like,
rolling it and eating it. Ugh.
it's not like Templeton from Charlotte's Web where it's like, oh, that's Yeah, that
Right,
looks
dude.
sort of
The
it's like
fucking-
carnival food.
If you
know,
can
or
make the
whatever.
bugs from Lion King look scrumptious, like they made cereal out of that. That shit was delicious. When I was a kid, I was like, I want to eat those bugs. But James Corden rolling around in animated garbage as an animated garbage pile himself is just, it's so fucking off-putting. I don't know which is worse, that or the cockroaches, but it's like, they're way too close to each other. Where like, I was just like, this movie is fucking disgusting.
Well, and then doesn't this scene end with him like getting disappeared by
Yeah.
he like like a tube like opened up or something and he fell in it.
Well,
and that's
that's
how the song ends, right?
I guess like in the song Jellicle Cat is like the first song. They
Yeah.
show McCavity, who's like obviously going to be the bad cat, and it's Idris Elba, and he's literally on a sign for like Moriarty from Sherlock Holmes, and it's like, all right, I
It's
get
a little on the nose.
yeah, and he just has magical powers and can just like disappear people, and it's never explained. Yeah, James Corden just gets sucked down a pipe because McCavity's like, look at this, you fat piece of shit. Don't you want to eat it? Because you're so fat. And James Corden's like, you know me, I am fat. And he jumps headfirst into it and disappears.
After Buster Jones, we're introduced to Shimbleshanks, who's a railway cat. He has like suspenders and a fantastic mustache.
It's definitely not after Buster Jones, but I don't care.
It's
All of these are interchangeable.
Yeah.
Like, let's not get it twisted.
that is my favorite song of the musical.
It was a good song.
Yeah.
It was a good song. Very like
They're tap dancing to do
da,
like
da,
the
da, 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 da,
Yeah.
da, or something. You know, it's like lively. He's like tap dancing or I don't know what, but he has a little vest and shoes, and it's like I think it's funny that he's like, I think that cat's kind of funny where he's like, yeah, I'm very serious. I'm the railway cat and I monitor the railway, but all he does is like he's just on the train catching mice.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, it's my job. And it's like, I think that's kind of funny.
Victoria begins to have adventures with twins Mungo Jerry and Rumpelteazer.
Rumpelteazer. You know Mungo Jerry, fucking in the summertime. Ba-da-da, if that's what he's saying, I would give this song a 10 out of 10. No, I wouldn't. It would still be a travesty, but it would get points.
But the twins take Victoria to their owner's house, and she gets like tangled up in a necklace, and you see a dog trying to open the door, and they're like, "Ha ha! You're gonna get mauled to death."
If y'all have seen the like 1978 Invasion of the Body Snatchers, all right, this sounds really off topic, but it's not. There's a part, so like you know the premise, little particles come down and they replicate humans, and they
communist agents.
Yeah, and they kill the people they're replicating. There's a part where there's like earlier in the movie, there's a homeless man with his dog on a bench, like sleeping with it, and then there's a part in the movie where he gets replicated, but they did both of them together. So it's like a dog body with a
Jesus
human head.
Christ.
Yeah, and I really wanted to see that in Cats. I really wanted to see that fucking nightmare fuel. Because I remember that was the scariest part of the movie, and I was a kid, and I was just like, Jesus Christ! Because like the guy was trying to blend in with his, like, if you don't freak out, you'll blend in.
Yeah.
And he was just walking through the crowds, and then he saw that, and he was like, ah! And that would have been me if they showed the dog trying to kill her, but they didn't. They're cowards.
After that, Mr. Mistopheles, who also knows magic because some cats just do, intervenes, and they escape, and their faces move all close, and they're about to kiss, and like, ooh, little romance subplot.
I wish they even just had one throwaway line where it's like, how do you know magic? It's like, well, some cats are more prone to vanishing or something. Like, oh, I have a cat at home who's always disappearing.
Oh, I gave my...
He's such a little Mr. Please, or whatever.
Mr. Mistopheles, what did you do? I sold my soul to Satan, as all cats do.
I sacrificed my brothers. Yeah, something.
Yeah.
But they just never, they're just like, yeah, magic, bitch, deal with it.
He's got a hat, he's got a wand, his fur looks like a tuxedo.
My suspension of disbelief is very stretched in this Cats movie.
So, parallel to this, we mentioned earlier, McCavity, played by Idris Elba, he's trying to get people out of the competition for Jellicle Cat, and everyone freaks out when they talk about him, like he's the world's greatest criminal mind, like the Moriarty parallel. But like
Yeah.
he isn't playing 4D chess. He can just use magic to cheat.
Right.
Which, wouldn't we all if we could?
He literally, like, it would be way more interesting if he could be like, if he was like the fucking charlatan from Princess and the Frog, Where it's like, if you don't compete, I'll give you all of the food you can eat. But he teleports them to a trash barge, like way away from the city or something. Because they're sign their souls away or something.
Yeah.
But no, he's just like, I got you. And they're like, oh, McCavity, get out of here, swiper, no swiping. And he's like, rats. And also, like, spoilers, when he fucking, like, gets everybody out of the ball, he goes to the person who decides, and he's like, no one else is here, it's just me, so give it to me. And she just goes, no. And it's like, that could have happened the whole time. Why'd you even do this? And he's like, rats. It's just like retarded.
When he disevaporates people, they're taken to a barge on the Thames, and there's a pirate cat named Growl Tiger, and they're just like, oh, and he's just like, I'm so evil. They might have had actual dialogue, but I can't be bothered to remember it.
But thank Christ they chained up Rebel Wilson and James Corden. They got them the fuck out of the musical as soon as.
But then they keep going back to them every 2 minutes.
You know, we're going to get out of this. Get out of this when you're tied to cinder blocks. Wait, no. And then just push it off the barge.
Yeah, release the director's cut. I want cat butts, and I want them to mercilessly execute a Rebel Wilson and James Corden.
Don't worry, I use my magic to bring them back alive so we can kill them again. Hooray!
I want them to just keep unzipping Rebel Wilson until it's just like gets to her fucking like nervous system. And kill James Corden would be like the guy from Seven, Gluttony. They just make him eat cans of pasta until he pops.
Come on, Universal, don't be cowards. Give us money. So they go to the abandoned Egyptian theater where the Jellicle ball is being held.
Because cats were worshipped in Egypt.
We're introduced to Grisabella, who's a disgraced cat, and she used to run with McCavity, and she's like in the shadows and ashamed. Like, she used to just... We don't know what they did. I don't know if they were lovers or she helped him like burn down an orphanage for insurance money. It's pretty wide range, but...
Yeah. Well, and the whole thing is like, what I remember pretty explicitly in like my childhood memory of cats is like Grisabella is like old and like homeless. Like
old bitch cat.
Yeah, she's like old and scraggly and looks like shit, like soot on her face.
Yeah.
People don't want to be around her because she's just like gross. Like if that's what I remember. And like, but she sings the most beautifully, and that's what the thing is. Like, but in this movie, Grisabella is I forget the actress's name. Rose. No, not Rose Dawson or something. It's a very beautiful woman. And does not look as like dirtier than the other cats. So it's literally like she just looks like all the other cats, but they're like, oh no, fuck Grisabella. And it's just like, you know, you lose a little bit of the punch when she sings Memories if there's just like doesn't really seem like there's anything wrong with her. So I thought that was a weird choice.
We're introduced to Old Deuteronomy, played by Dame Judi Dench. She's the de facto leader of this cat cult. And she's the one who decides who wins the Jellicle ball. So she's the one when McCavity is like, I want to die. And she goes, no. And his entire plan unfolds in front of him.
Was that Judi Dench? I thought that the
Dame
whole time
Judi
it was
Dench.
just a cat turned the other way around. It was just the cat's asshole. Because she looked so bad in this movie.
I think it was
She
like
looked really bad in
I
this
really
movie.
hope she fired her agent because she did this and then Artemis Fowl.
Oh my god, dude. What is wrong with these, like, fucking established, like, pillars of cinema? Ian McKellen and Judi Dench. What the fuck are you doing in this movie? Retire.
Getting paid.
Like,
I mean,
Sean Connery did League of Extraordinary Gentlemen and was like, fuck doing these stupid piece of shit movies. I'm done. And it's like, yeah, you could be done. And you could be respected.
No, Ben, he refused to do movies, A, because they wouldn't give him leading roles anymore, but then also because he refused until Scotland seceded from...
Oh, hell yeah. That's a baller-ass move.
He was like, yes, once they secede, then I'll go back to Hollywood.
Dude, I fucks with
and
that.
it's like...
I fuck with that.
I don't know about that. But...
Yeah, I mean, the man had principles. Okay. He said, secede from England and slap your wife. Right or wrong, he had belief. He had conviction. No, I just don't understand it, man. Like, don't do these movies. You've done Shakespeare. You've won Oscars. What are you doing?
In the theater, we're introduced to Bombalina, played by Taylor Swift, and the Wikipedia...
Bombalarina, I think.
I don't know. It's a made-up fucking name. The Wikipedia article described her as a seductive femme fatale. Like, what is this?
Femme fatale?
I don't see that at all.
What is this?
Who's the James
furry?
Bond cat? Fucking, before Taylor Swift songs, though, there was Gus, the theater cat, does like a kind of song.
Yeah.
And it's Ian McClellan, but it's like they pull, Ian McClellan literally seems like he's going senile. I don't know if that's the direction they gave him or if he's just like that now. Ever since he had to film The Hobbit in empty rooms, he's lost his mind. But he's like dressed like a hobo and just like rubbing his head on the other actors.
And he goes, meow, meow, when he walks away.
Yeah. I'd love to see the behind the scenes just of Ian McClellan making all the other actors just really uncomfortable. And he's like, touch wood. And he's like rubbing his face on wood and shit. And he goes out, and I think this is actually very poignant for the entire movie. Like it's a very metaphorical for this whole thing as a work of art, where he goes out and he's like, his song is basically like, I remember performing these masterpieces on this stage for elegant crowds, and it was a time of showmanship and modesty, and what a good time. But now, these young cats, they don't know, they don't understand, they're very fast and bright, and they don't have time for old cats like me. And it's like, this is just you in this musical. Like, you're talking about yourself. It varies. Like, it seemed like it broke the fourth wall for Ian McClellan specifically. And it was just like, this is sad. This is making me sad that you're making this poor old dementia patient get up there and talk about how shitty his acting life is now. So, like, the casting choice was perfect because it's literally what he's going through. But, like, gross. Like, that makes me sad.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's fucking depressing. Get that out of here.
Yeah, but you gotta see Rebel Wilson show her taint. Isn't that funny?
God. It's... No.
So, Bombo Lorena.
It's like what they're doing to Patrick Stewart. Patrick Stewart needs to stop being in things. Like,
but
he
he's
was
Professor X.
I know whatever
Seth
he was.
MacFarlane owns his soul, I think.
He was a fucking he was a Shakespearean. His voice was deep and resonant. He played very strong characters. He's an old shriveled raisin now. He can't do that anymore. Stop putting him in those roles. He's not Picard anymore. He's not fucking Professor X anymore. I'm just an old happy man. No, like that's Patrick Stewart now. That's Ian McClellan now. Stop it. They did their thing. Enjoy it. Go back to it. Stop putting him in things like this of just like degenerated versions of what they did. It makes me sad. It's like, just fucking pull the plug.
Jesus Christ. No.
Put them out of their misery.
A much more emotional response to this movie.
It's like Weekend at Bernie's at this point.
Oh.
It is. It's gross.
So
it's sucking the soul out of these old actors.
In the Egyptian theater, everyone gets drugged with catnip, and then Taylor Swift's
That's
character
true. I forgot about that.
does a song with McCavity about how cool he is.
The L trip.
They're just, it's like they're hit with opioids because they just pass the fuck out. And then he's like, that's the point where he goes, well, I'm the only Jellicle Cat left. And then old Deuteronomy tells him to fuck off. He's like, well, I have magic.
How could I have seen that coming?
And everyone's real sad, but they're able to get over this end of second act low point because Mr. Mistopheles is able to resummon her. And they have the really good 15 minutes like melody. Is like
15 seconds.
Excuse me, 15 seconds. It's like, oh well.
Well, it's good, like good build up because like the whole song, Mr. Mistopheles or whatever. Which
Mr. Mistopheles.
Yeah, exactly. No, he goes like his whole song is like, I am shy and I suck, and then all the other cats.
But
are
I
like,
have a little top hat. Ooh.
Yeah, and all the other cats are like, no, you don't suck. You're pretty cool. And then like, it's not Taylor Swift. It's whoever the main cat is. She's just like, well, never was there ever a cat as clever as magical Mr. Mistopheles. And I was like, I think I remember, like, you and I, Ben, we were like, oh, that was pretty good. And I was like, are you ready to hear it 16 more times? And then it literally did that. It literally did that for like 3 more minutes after that. I think they must, you counted for a minute. You get to like 11 or 12.
But hooray, they're able to use magic to get over that.
Mild inconvenience?
Pretty much.
Like a second later, dude. That was so, I don't know. It's like, oh no, oh, okay.
They're like, shit, the movie has to end?
Yeah.
What do we do?
There's just, it's stupid.
Back on the barge in the Thames, Jenny Anydots is able to escape her binds by unzipping her skin. And she just slips out.
Which is just fucking gross. I could imagine that maybe they're like, for the dance number, she can do that. But she can't actually do that. But no, she can actually.
An ability that she has.
No, she can just do that. Silly me. I'm in these ropes. I forgot I could just shed my skin. What?
She's able to free herself, and they force Growl Tiger to walk the plank, and I think they push him off. So
so they all do their little routine on him, like fucking Rebel Wilson just like
bites
throws
off
a
his
cockroach,
head like he's a cockroach
or something. James Corden like throws up on him. The railroad cat fucking tap dances at him, and then Ian McKellen like yells at him like an actor. He goes roar because he was once the fiery Philibilla or I don't know what the fuck. It's stupid. It's dumb.
But they kill him. He goes into the river.
This is some 6-year-old
Cats
storytelling.
don't like swimming. He's dead.
There's another song that
Growl Tiger should have gone to the Jellicle heaven.
Yeah.
No,
he was a pawn and
the cavity.
Yeah, in his plan. Yeah.
Everyone knows that all dogs go to heaven, so all cats go to hell unless they win this. So he's damned for all eternity in hellfire and darkness.
Fuck yeah, dude.
One song I want to talk about that
Be a good juxtaposition.
I forgot to write down because order doesn't matter, is like the one original song called Beautiful Ghost that Victoria sings, and it was Taylor Swift doing like a home run swing to get an Oscar. And like the line is cool. It's like dancing with beautiful ghosts. I was like, oh. And that's all I remember of it.
Yeah.
So.
You came out of your drunken stupor to be like, beautiful ghosts was elegant. Show me your cat tits. All 6 of them.
Jesus Christ.
Back in the Egyptian theater, Victoria vouches for Grisabella and they sing memories about her mistakes.
Which is really good,
and
actually.
Lost beauty.
Yeah.
And glory. Yeah.
She goes for it and it, delivers. And they definitely like knew which one to pick for the trailer. Like what shot. Because it was the fucking high point of the entire musical. And they were like, yeah, put that in the trailer. So you've seen the best part of the songs if you've watched the trailer.
What are you talking about? The best part is just a 20-minute...
Well, never was there ever.
It just does that for an hour. Then it's intercut with shots of James Corden eating trash and Reverend Wilson
fucking God.
unzipping herself.
With like no background music or anything. No dialogue. That'd be awesome. Someone should make a Cats trailer with no background noise.
But being moved by this, old Deuteronomy names Grisabella the winner of Jellicle Ball. She goes into a chandelier that, using Mr. Mistopheles' magic, becomes a hot air balloon, and she ascends into heaven.
I wish after everything, Judi Dench was just like, the cat that shall ascend is me, and just like goes and flies away.
Fuck all of y'all.
Yeah.
McCavity, after his plan being foiled by someone saying no, tries one last Hail Mary, and he runs up and clings onto a rope that's coming down from the balloon, but he's shaken off, and I think he lands on Nelson's column.
Yeah, he does.
And he just goes, oh!
Because this is in London, eh?
And then
Wake up now!
That's what the people...
It's a fish and chips!
The people throwing away the cat.
That's an excellent old Monty Python witch that you've got there.
No, when they're throwing Victoria in the sack and you see the human, you're like, oh, we're going to be late for tea for the colonials. Pip, pip, enslave the Irish.
Oh my God. No, they just take all the cats and round them up into pork pies.
Well,
Because the English still eat like they're fucking starving peasants.
Yeah, they're like, here's the fucking livered eel meat. And it's
Yeah.
like, why?
Oh, my best delicacy, fucking mushy peas.
They
Fuck
colonized
out of here. That's baby food.
they conquered over a quarter of the world's landmass, only to use none of its spices in their
Fucking
food.
assholes, man.
And then the final shot is all the cats are united, and James, or not James Dench.
Dame Judi Dench.
Talks directly to the camera for about like 5 minutes, and
It's
then
weird.
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like in a
They
play,
don't break it up.
works. No. But in a movie where the fourth wall has not been broken and they're not like performing for an audience, for Judi Dench to just be like, remember to tickle your cat's balls and treat them like a king. And she also goes like, she's like, give them a nice squirt of salmon paste or caviar. And then like, as they're doing this, all the actors and Judi Dench start going like some ASMR video and like sticking their tongues out of their mouths and wagging them around. And it's like, oh, it's so gross.
And the final line of this emotional endeavor is being taught that a cat is not a dog.
That a cat is not a dog.
And that was... We probably goofed it up, but that's the plot of Cats.
Yeah.
Well, like,
So-
and the whole time there's like one cat, a woman cat, the one that got like thrown away in the bag that was hilarious. She's been with them the whole time listening to the songs, and Judi Dench is like, you're a Jellicle Cat now. See
Yeah.
you at the Jellicle Ball next year. And she's like, woohoo! And then goes and I don't know.
Like, it's been a long time since I've watched the direct-to-video version. I'd be curious, like, I don't know if Victoria is, like, a character through...
That's the
She
cat's
is.
name.
Yeah.
She is, but she doesn't have a solo, and she does like one dance number.
Because
Oh,
I
okay.
don't remember her either.
Yeah.
Maybe. Actually, no, I think I do. I think I remember.
Yeah,
don't
it just, I don't know, like, she doesn't really...
There's too many fucking characters.
She doesn't do much in the movie. She's just always sort of there in the circumstances. Like, she's, like, that's the audience's, like, anchor, I guess, and, like,
Mhm.
learning about this shit show world that they have created. But yeah, sort of, we alluded to it earlier. There was quite a bit of drama with the CGI, sort of going into this movie. Initially, they did plan on doing more practical costumes, but Hooper, being the amazing director that he is, decided to just not do that, since they'd lose so much of the actor's emotion if they were covered up in makeup and practical
What fucking
effects.
emotion, dude? There's memories. There's Ian McKellen just, being sad that he's in this shit movie.
Yeah, haven't you seen Elephant Man? There's no emotion in that movie.
Oh yeah, you're right, dude.
Well, and here's the thing.
They should have
Even-
just taken John Hurt's face and imposed it on top of the blobbiest bony morph that was the Elephant Man's head.
And the thing is, like, you can do makeup, and then, like, because it's a movie, you can zoom in on their face and see the emotion.
Yeah, so now that when you do zoom in on their face, it's just like an abomination
Yeah.
in this.
Yeah, so they decided to not do that. Instead, they just did basically like body motion capture suits instead. And they're like, we'll just do it in post. Just do it in post. Just do it all in post.
Eventually, post has to happen, and they also have a limited budget and time, as
Yes.
it turns out.
I don't think we've actually really described how unnerving this fucking design of these cat actors are. These cat actors. But
You shouldn't be proud of
yeah,
that.
I'm not. But on the play, in the stage production, they have paint like a nose, like a cat
Yeah.
nose paint. They have whiskers. They have
It's
the
not
fursuit
like a human
and
nose
yeah,
and like...
right. And
Yeah.
they have. I feel like they have hands still, hands and feet, which is kind of weird. But
Yeah. One interesting thing I did not mention, they pretty much finished the VFX for this in the 11th hour, literally before the movie premiered, but there was a problem where they didn't CG Judi Dench's hands in one scene.
So I could still see the gang signs that were tattooed on her hands.
No, you can see her wedding ring.
grip,
though.
motherfucker.
Her wedding ring is visible, and they were like,
Cats can't get married? Wow. Okay.
well, no,
That's
they were
the
just
least
like,
of their fucking problems.
yeah,
with
I
their
mean,
movie.
yeah, but it's It was something where they later on, like during its theatrical run, they were like, yeah, we're gonna need you to replace the digital copy you have with this one where we fix that. And a lot of theater owners were like, that's fucking unheard of for a studio to be like, yeah, here's like an updated version. Like that's sort of like with was it The Mandalorian?
After the movie had come out,
where they edited the guy in the jeans out of the shot.
So like
yeah.
when I send an email to my boss and like, please see the updated report, and it's like the old one, but like a major corporation with stockholders and millions of dollars on the line also did that.
Exactly.
Yes.
Incredible.
Fucking but yeah, no, in the movie they have no makeup or anything to make them look like cats. They just literally have human faces that go until their hairline, and then they have like cat bodies with the cat ears, but no whiskers or anything, and just human hands that are still like kind of CG'd.
Sometimes
and
they
like,
had fur on like the top of the hand, but that was it. But then other times they didn't. Yeah.
It just looks wrong, and they're walking upright a lot, but then they like crawl around like cats, and it just looks like a disturbed like furry convention. Like it's just like ugh. And they're like trying to act like cats, be like meow meow, and it's just like oh my god. It just reminds you of like the cringy 6th grade like animal girls. You know what I'm talking about? They wear their tails like in between classes and stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes,
yeah. That's what this reminded me
the ones
of.
who hiss at people. Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, granted, I probably wasn't even in 6th grade when I watched it as a kid, but I never got that vibe of just like these adults are being really fucking creepy right now.
Yeah.
But I got that vibe in this.
So staff at one of the VFX studios who worked on the movie, they were putting in like 80 to 90 hours a week to get it done by the deadline. All while Hooper would be sending them like angry emails about their work and insulting them. So he just like, they were working pretty much around the clock to get this done, and he was just like, no, fuck you, like you don't understand.
God bless you, Canada, and your lack of unions for these people.
More like pooper.
Yeah. And they basically, the studios that did the VFX for this, they spent around 6 months doing the 2-minute long trailer, which left them with 4 months to do the rest of the VFX for the entirety of the remainder of the movie.
From what I heard, this was never confirmed because people can't go on the record and get blackballed in the industry. But when like the trailer was released, Universal panicked because it got all the negative feedback, and that's why they like slashed budget for this. So, but that sounds pretty rough.
Yeah. And so like I was saying, they ended up only finishing the VFX for it like a few hours before the movie premiered, and they were just sort of like came fresh off the oven in that sense. Like it was like so I feel for them. It's like, because that I feel like VFX, especially recently, like we've heard a lot of stuff about like Marvel movies in particular, where they aren't getting like finalized versions of like character designs, and so sort of like at the last minute you've heard stuff about like Thor.
Black Widow. The reason why the last act makes no sense is because they didn't have a finalized script. They're like, it's going to be a huge sky explosion battle. Start making that.
Yeah. So there's been a lot of stuff going on with that recently. A lot of people are feeling sort of burnt out. And this sort of came to a head when James Corden and Rebel Wilson openly mocked the movie's CGI at the 92nd Academy Awards. Essentially, they were dressed up as their characters, and they're like, yeah, fuck the VFX team.
It shows the importance of good visual effects, just like how they can't make me skinny. And they laughed and started to cry.
So, they openly mocked the CG at the Oscars, and this did lead to criticism from the production's VFX animators, since a lot of them actually were laid off following this movie's release. Between the budget slashes, they just couldn't really keep their doors open.
Did they do the same thing as, like, I know Life of Pi, like, it won Best Visual Effects, but the animation studio went under.
What's interesting about this one is I think the studio that, like, redid Sonic did this also, but it's, like, sort of a, like, Sonic Universal as well. In any case, like, it's interesting that, like, you have an instance like that where for Sonic, they were like, okay, we're going to completely redo everything. That way we can make a product that people are like, yeah, I like that. Whereas with this, they're like, fuck, abort,
Dude,
like,
this is just fucked up.
Get it out and it'll be a tax write-off.
This is
sort
fucked
of
up
thing.
all the way down. Like, fucking... This, like, the CGI is garbage. Like, it is. It's bad. But it's not because of any decision the VFX people had at all. Like, it's literally like Tom Hooper being a cunt. And then the executives, like, giving them 4 months. And it's like, dude, that's fucked up, man. It's like, build me a bridge out of these fucking bamboo sticks and a pile of my shit. And it's like, you call this a bridge? You're fired. It's like, what? That sucks. And I would make a horrible bridge. It would be so bad. But that's fucked up, man. He punished the people that had no control over it, that are literally just working class, not these fucking cunty millionaires.
Yeah.
God.
And even more unfortunate, Taylor Swift didn't get that Oscar, so she's gonna have to keep on grinding
Drink
for
the blood
EGOTs.
of every fired FX animator out of a big twirly sippy straw.
So now that that's sort of water under the bridge, what did y'all think of the movie overall?
It's not good.
Yeah, it sucks. Don't watch it.
It was really bad.
Listen to like, if you have fond memories of Cats, just listen to the music or watch the fucking,
direct to video one.
Watch the play. Don't fucking watch this movie.
Yeah.
And I think you know that. I think everybody on the planet knows that. We knew that before we even watched it.
Yeah.
We're like, this is gonna be bad.
You know, we're buddies. We have like a natural rapport, and especially when we drink. And even after a couple beers and cracking jokes, I still did not have a good time watching this movie.
So
I had a good time. Fucking, you know, it shames me to say, but I think I still remember more music from this than Newsies. I don't think I can sing you a song from Newsies, Ben. I'm sorry.
What about High Times, Hard Times?
I don't remember how that goes. Nope.
That's just because you blocked out because you knew what Meadow was doing to those children.
Yeah, that's true. King of New York? Is it?
yeah,
I'm
look
the
at
king-
me, I'm
king
the
of New-
king of New York.
Oh, nope. I was thinking, definitely thinking a different song. Yeah, I didn't remember that one either.
But yeah, critically,
I was thinking King of the Road. King of the Road.
Y'all are a bunch of hacks who just don't understand art when you see it.
so critically, Cats was ripped apart as well. It has a 19% on Rotten Tomatoes, and granted, that's like an aggregate, so that's the scales are a little weird with how that works. But in any case, that's really bad. You know, and
I think this is the one time where I've seen a score this low that I agree with.
yeah.
Honestly.
It's pretty much swept the Golden Raspberry Awards. It won Worst Picture, Worst Director, Worst Lead, Worst Supporting. Yeah, like it.
Let me see if I can pull it up real quick.
Worst Song. We could definitely see that. Worst Original Song or something.
What year
What
was
are you
this?
looking for?
2020 is when
2020. I put
because it was the
2019.
following
You
year.
boob. But no, I think the Golden Raspberries were made for this. I mean, it literally started with Xanadu for like this shit musicals.
Yeah, but like I don't know, like contrasting those with each other, I'm like,
Oh,
I love.
yeah, Xanadu is.
yeah.
I would watch that again right now. Cats, I would never. Don't ever make me watch this again.
So what it won? Worst Picture. It won Worst Director. It won Worst Supporting Actor for James Corden. Worst Supporting Actress for Rebel Wilson. And they had the fucking audacity.
And they were like,
to
but it's the
insult
VFX.
Yeah.
Worst screen combo, any two half feline, half human hairballs. Ha 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 ha. Worst screenplay.
Yep.
What? Oh, never mind. I was looking at it. It was like Eddie Murphy, Dolomite is my name, but it's Razzie Redeemer Award.
Oh, okay. That's a good movie. You see that movie?
No.
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
real
good
good. So Cats had 9 nominations and 6 wins.
Good for them.
So do we have any final thoughts on Cats or any of the musicals we've talked about, or just musicals in general before we wrap things up?
I would rank them with the most fun I had watching them. Not which was best, because
Okay,
I'll be wrong.
yeah.
But the most fun I had, probably I'd say Xanadu, Phantom, Newsies, and Cats. Cats?
Where's Chicago?
Oh yeah, shit, I forgot about Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd say Xanadu, Chicago, Phantom, Newsies, Cats. I fucking like
that's how I'd rank
Cats.
them as well. Yeah.
I definitely laughed the most.
While
that
watching
doesn't-
it, but like
doesn't
it didn't
equal-
translate into
yeah.
a good discussion.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, or a good time, really. I mean, like, I did enjoy myself because it was just, I was flabbergasted pretty much the whole time that it could exist. But if you had to sit me down and like, I'd watch this on my own or something, oh, dude, absolutely not. That's.
Yeah.
I think my rank is literally just like, would I watch these again right now on my own? That's
Yeah.
probably my list
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
I think I'd go Phantom, Xanadu, Chicago, Newsies, Cats.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Because I could definitively say that Chicago is hands down the best
Oh yeah.
musical that we've
Yeah,
done.
that's
for this.
without a question.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Xanadu's a charming little
Yeah.
Newsies
flick.
is adorable, and you guys just
I'm-
don't understand genius.
You can still like it, Ben.
You don't
Well,
like
okay, let's
people
be
trying their
let's
best.
be
with-
clear. For me, there was a big drop off between Newsies and Cats. Like there's
Oh,
massive.
yeah. So that's
A-
there is
a
a
chasm.
caveat. Yeah.
Like Newsies, it's like not a great
We're
movie, but
discovering
it's
new
not.
species of fish in the cat's abyss.
Yeah.
Newsies like it's kind of boring, and some of
It's where
some of the
goblin
child
sharks are.
actors could be better, and then. But if you're like, but is it like a competently made movie? I'd be like,
There's a plot.
It's a
There's,
movie,
There
yeah.
are things happening, and I can vaguely understand.
If I ever
What's
run
going
into
on?
another Ben, I could recommend Newsies. I don't know who the fuck I could ever recommend Cats to. Nobody.
furry deviants.
Somebody I fucking hate. I don't know.
If you like Rebel Wilson, then you'll
But
like
then they'll
Cats.
just turn it off because there's no way that anybody could sit through this piece of shit if they're not just having a laughing fest like we did at it.
Yeah.
That's the only reason you should watch it. And even then, you shouldn't. Go watch fucking fucking Death Wish or The Room or so. Or fucking,
Yeah.
Don't watch this.
So with that, that is going to do it for today's episode of the Boyos Discuss and this season of Boyos Summer Musicals. If you enjoyed the podcast and you're listening on YouTube, we'd really appreciate it if you'd like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'd like to thank both of you for joining me on this sort of ridiculous journey.
Thank you for hosting.
Yeah, for
what
sure.
a sweetie.
I mean, this was like, it sort of isn't in our normal wheelhouse for things that we talk about. So it was fun that we did this. And I'm not sure what the future for Boyos Discuss is going to look like, what we're going to review next or talk about.
We get fan mail. We'll get suggestions.
You're right.
So I'll look forward to it all the same, though. Anyways, guys, until next time.
Memory, all alone in the moonlight, I can smile at the old days. It was beautiful then. I remember the time I knew what happiness was. Let the memory live again.